good afternoon, everybody. It's all hands on deck on election day.
On deck on election day.
Who do I have in the room with me? I have Reverend Dr. Marshall Hatch.
Wakanda.
So happy to have you, Dr. Hatch.
Glad to be here.
Man, it's a privilege to have you in. I want to start off by saying congratulations and thank you to you for the work that you have done on your tour of duty as the chairman of the board of Chicago State University.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, you've done some great work.
We worked hard and we got some things done. We named the library the Gwendolyn Brooks Library. We brought in Cornell West as the keynote speaker.
That was awesome.
We reinstituted Jeremiah Wright's lecture series. He lectured there. Brought back Haki Matabuti to do the Black Writers Conference. And then, of course, got a permanent president there, President Z. Scott, expected to do a fabulous job.
Beautiful. You know, we can give you a lot of credit, you and your board. You got some fine people on that board.
Wonderful people on the board.
A couple of young attorneys.
Trustee Nick Goin as the incoming chairman. Absolutely. Very sharp, folks.
And we appreciate
Dr. Horace Smith also served with me.
Is he going on?
He's coming off with me.
Coming off with you.
We haven't been replaced yet.
Okay.
But we
That's why we
expect to be
board.
replaced, yeah.
You guys were phenomenal, and what you guys really need to know, he won't say it, but I'll say it. You know, God will always give you people who will speak up for you. You know, this board that Marshall Hatch Sr. has been the chairman of, I can say that they literally saved Chicago State University. And the reason many of us say that is because this was not on the agenda of the governor. How did you guys make that happen?
Man, we had to steer it through. I mean, you know, we had to of course, make some cuts when the money was low. But we anticipated that, you know, as a new governor was coming in, if it's going to be a Democratic governor, that they were going to be a certain amount of beholden to the black community. So if we could hold on, you know, we expect the resources to begin to flow again. But I mean, it was a very difficult time. It was very tense. We went through a lot of changes. It took a lot of time out of my schedule. The 4 years I served, 2 years I was the chair. But you know, Chicago State is back.
Now, it's amazing that you were able to do that and pastor a church, because in the African American context, the pastor wears multiple hats. The pastor must oversee the budget. He must be the inspiration on Sunday. He must provide leadership to the board at his church. He must be the person who's taking care of the chaplaincy aspect, at least the one who's ahead of it. He's required to do counseling. You did all of that.
Yeah,
and in the midst of being the board chairman. Do you feel like you're getting any rest now?
Well, a little bit. I mean, I'm back to writing again, but I tell you, you know, it was almost like the same skill set given leadership at Chicago State, because leadership is really leadership.
Sure,
you know,
that's powerful.
And so a lot of what I've learned in the church world prepares us to do a myriad of things, and so I use a lot of the same skills.
One of the leaders that I admire the most, and he's probably one of the highest paid, or not, if not highest paid, most successful, and one who has the greatest reach, John Maxwell. And John Maxwell pastored for 25 years. So I was just wondering, this is not on the agenda, but what makes being a pastor, the leadership skill set of being a pastor, be transferable in the corporate world and make you somewhat successful?
Because a person absolutely almost cannot be a pastor. I guess there's exceptions to everything, without having tremendous people skills.
Sure.
And of course, people skills will take you into almost any environment and allow you to you know, build a team, provide inspiration, cast vision, be able to do a myriad of jobs, know a little bit about everything, every aspect of administration, facilities management, accounting.
Sure.
Mechanical engineering.
Right.
I mean, you name it, the pastors, you know, got their hand.
You're the head of building and grounds, really.
All of
at
that.
the end of the day, you got to make the last
It's your
decision.
problem if it doesn't work. Yeah. So.
And listen, friends, we're going to still be talking with Dr. Hatch. We're going to get some insight about this big mayoral election.
Big election.
It is huge. It's
historic.
We're going to make news. I want to hear some predictions from you, but we will also want to hear from those who are watching on live stream, on television, and those who are watching by Facebook Live. All of you, I want to hear from you. 312-738-1060.
Big day in Chicago.
Tell me who you voted for, or tell me who you don't even have to tell your name. Maybe you want to remain anonymous.
Be anonymous.
Call us and tell us why you voted for that person. I want to also congratulate you, Dr. Hatch, on your project that you recently completed. Sankofa Peace Window. You constructed your team of young people and your church and your donors. You put together this historical church art, this beautiful stained glass window. I want to commend you guys for that. And I want to ask you, what was the motivation behind investing those kind of resources in that structure?
Well,
Because you do know WBZ put the amount in the newscast.
Yeah.
How much it costs? I wonder how they got that information.
Yeah, I mean those are expensive buildings anyway.
Yeah.
But thank you for coming by.
Sure.
You did a tremendous job on the night you came and revived us and inspired us on last Tuesday. And then also thank you for your PR work. Now, for those of you that don't know it, Reverend Ackery is one of the best PR specialists in America today.
Now, let me put a plug in for myself. If there's some young person, I got a skill set that I learned from Marshall Hatch,
You need to get started first.
Jesse Jackson, and James Meeks. Those three taught me a lot about PR. Now, if there's some young adult person that's good with literary skills and you want to help me launch this business officially,
Because he's passed everybody up that he's named. I mean, he's one of the best, and of course helped us to get a lot of projection. That was very intentional work on your part, and thank you for helping us.
Very grateful how they portrayed it.
Yeah, it was a positive story in the community, and we got a lot of feedback. People were very proud about it. Of course, it's going to be a major part of Chicago history going forward, and that you have Darren Albert, Laquan McDonald, Hadia Pendleton, Blair Holt, and then Demetrius Griffin, and then the 4 girls from Birmingham, and then to go with the art that was already in there. So it's really part of a trilogy.
So those of you
20-year project
that are watching all across the city who never come to the west side, New Mount Pilgrim is going to be a destination center for art. 4301 West Washington, and there's a big window, a very nice window with the 4 martyrs, the 4 girls that were killed in Birmingham, Alabama back in the 1960s. And then you name the people, Hadia Pendleton, the likes of Laquan McDonald, Darren Albert, and Demetrius Griffin. Yeah. So it's pretty moving. It's very inspiring. Been working on it for years.
Yeah, and it's part of a trilogy of art that we've done, and along with community development that we've been doing there.
Okay.
So the slave ship icon, just a way of taking a building and making it work on behalf of the community and creating art. And we own about 3/4 of a block going east.
It's the Pilgrim Village.
Pilgrim Village, yeah. So, but thank you for coming, man. It's a tremendous job, and being you and Cy Fields and Rabbi.
You are doing such a good job. I'll probably be like a Reverend Jenkins, retire early. So when I retire early, maybe you could make me like the executive director of the museum.
I'll be retiring before you, unless you come out. I may come out next week. The way I'm feeling these days.
Listen, we got a big election here. Big election. Big election. 14 candidates are running. Let me just go on
record number of people running.
Yeah.
Never before in 181 years.
Unbelievable.
History of Chicago.
Unbelievable. I personally believe
candidates.
that top seven candidates is Bill Daley, Gary Chico, Tony Preckwinkle, Susanna Mendoza, Willie Wilson, Lori Lightfoot, and Amara Enya. I think you have to vote within those 7 people. I think the rest, you're just playing with your votes if you don't vote for one of those top 7. What do you think?
I just don't, I don't know. Yeah, it's got to be the top 7 that you talked about. But I don't know anybody that knows definitely how these are going to, work out. I remember when they used to play jacks in the old neighborhood when we grew up in. And the jacks, they threw them up, and nobody knew how they was gonna come down.
Sure.
That's about how this feels. I mean, nobody knows who the top 2 vote getters are gonna be, because you could actually have 2 top vote getters in the 20%.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting, and however that whoever the we want to say the well-resourced candidate might be against somebody with less resources.
Absolutely.
And then that'll, of course, give an advantage or disadvantage, depending on how it comes down. It's going to be hard to say. I mean, I really feel a lot of sense of, I feel bad for the black community because we have been so disoriented as we have been moved around in this city, and as we've had this mass exodus in the last 20 years. You can see that the people are so depressed,
absolutely,
and lost for direction. And I think we ought to commend the candidates, out of our community, like Willie and Amara and even LaShawn and Laurie, who put themselves out there and gave the people at least some choice and reason to hope. But the dry bone, the valley, the bones in the valley are very dry, Reverend. I mean, it is very hard to breathe life into. Because people are under so much stress.
And it's like there's been a mass exodus of African Americans out of the city. And Chris Kennedy, the nephew of John F. Kennedy, who ran for governor, he was bold enough to say there is a strategic plan of gentrification.
And he got crucified by the major media.
Yeah, he did.
I mean, absolutely.
People don't want you to tell the truth about it.
They don't want to hear the truth.
This empire and the white supremacy rules that black people and other people of color are supposed to ignore,
and that it's common sense that a lot of these policies are intentional.
Sure.
I mean, to have this kind of the number one narrative is in the black community is I'm getting out of here.
Absolutely.
I mean, and it makes no sense logically, because while we're exodusing out, if I can make exodus a word, Boeing has come in.
Sure.
And McDonald's has moved their international headquarters from Oak Brook to the near West Side, the West Loop. And so the mega companies coming in, major billion-dollar development down in Lake Park, and we're talking about we're getting out. It's sad because it's a major hoodwink that we're leaving out. Well, really, there's going to be a lot of money made in Chicago. The strategic
plan of gentrification is working like a science, because my daughter, smart young woman, she left. She's in Texas.
Yeah.
We got a caller. Caller, welcome to the show. You're on All Hands on Deck with Ira Ackery and Dr. Marshall Hatch.
Yes, and good afternoon. How you doing?
Doing well.
All right, I just told my wife, I said, let me make a quick comment. She said, you don't do anything quick. Listen, I totally disagree with the way the voting procedures are going right now. I think that it's entirely too many candidates running at one time. It causes extra work, extra money, extra time. We need to limit it to a certain amount of people to be running for a candidate. It's just entirely too many people. It takes away a lot of votes from other people. I think what we need to do is shorten it up, and instead of waiting until April the 2nd to vote again, and it could have been over today. But again, I think it's just too many candidates running at one time. And to you, sir, over at the University of Chicago, Chicago State, I remember when that was one lively, lovely place back in the 80s. When they first opened up, they had so many people up there. But we know people get into position of get money, they tear it down, then you got to rebuild. It seems like you always hear those stories. Is money really the root of all evil, or is men the root of evil? It seems like that's what it could be. Listen, thanks for taking the call.
Thanks for calling in.
Thank you so much. So two things let's deal with. Number one, he's saying it's just too many candidates. Actually, it can be confusing with a lot of candidates. My perspective on it, it's really democracy working like a science.
Well, they're all in there legally. Yeah. They're all legal candidates, and it's an open seat, and you can always get this kind of interest when there's an open seat.
Sure.
And I think
That's what turns me off, though, because a lot of these people that jumped in would not have had the courage to come on and take on Rahm Emanuel. I really don't like that.
yeah, but I think that again, the process is going to whittle it down to two people today.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's going to be two candidates.
Yeah.
In a minute, and so yeah, I think that but I know we know that Chicago is very strategic in the way the powers that be set up the election. It's in February when you can expect a lower voter turnout because the weather's always unpredictable.
Sure.
That's part of the incumbent protection plan. But I think that, again, you got, just a lot of people who, because there are so many candidates, when they can't make up their mind, they'll just wait until it whittles down the turn.
Certainly, I had people that I talked to today. My uncle called me. Hey, Unc, how you doing? He said, I don't know who to vote for. And I rather than, normally I would tell him, man, you're crazy. You need to vote for this person, that. But I start saying, let's weigh your interests.
Yeah.
And I said, who you battling between? And once again, he told me this one particular person, she ain't getting nothing from him, But so I think he made up his mind to vote for Uncle Willie.
Yeah, I mean, in politics, we used to do a lot more political education, I think, in our communities. You vote your interests.
That's right.
I mean, it's just like, I was in West Garfield Park, and it was 5 public schools out of the 50 that closed in my community where my church was. Well, there was no way in the world I was going to be for that. And then so if somebody comes to me and talk about, yeah, but the CPS need to save budget, I don't care about that.
Right.
I care about what happens. I don't want my members to have to live next door to a boarded up school because their property values are going to go down. So, I mean, politics, you vote your interests.
That's right.
You vote who
and we've
what's
heard
going
down
to
through the
benefit
years.
you the best.
We heard down through the years there are no permanent enemies or permanent friends in politics, only permanent interests. 312-738-1060. Why don't you call in right now and convince somebody who they should vote for this next mayor, the new leader of our city. Listen, conventional wisdom, the pollsters are suggesting that it will be Tony Preckwinkle versus Bill Daley. That's what they're saying. I am predicting, I don't know how it's going to turn out, but I'm predicting that this is going to be shook up tonight.
It's going to be a dark horse.
It's going to be a dark horse.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think so. I mean, I don't think anybody's predictions have any science to it because you got that bunch of about 5 candidates.
That's right.
And
they're all within the margin of error.
All of them within the margin of error, 1 or 2 points separated, if not tied. And then we're going to have this low turnout.
Yeah.
So it's just going to be absolutely unpredictable. For political junkies, it'll be fun to watch with the shakeout. And I think also it's going to be interesting to see what's happening in these wards.
Absolutely.
I think there's a major anti-incumbent spirit out there. And so I'm pretty sure that a lot of incumbents who really, it matters to them a great deal whether or not they get reelected, I'm probably sitting a little nervously tonight because I don't think any of those races are predictable.
All right, Ed Burke, what happens to him tonight? Does he go into runoff or does he lose?
He's gonna go into runoff if he's gonna go into runoff. I don't think that he's gonna get 50%. It was a damaging indictment that comes from the FBI. It's not over. Even if he got in, it's just the beginning of his troubles. He gave up the power.
He gave it up.
When he gave up the finance committee chair, it just doesn't have the same value. It's kind of like, I'm on the board of Chicago State for 2 years, and then the next 2 years, I'm elected the chairman. Whoa! I mean, it's kind of like I'm not going back to being a regular board member after that.
No.
It's like I'm retired now.
Yeah.
I'm out of there. I'll do something else. It's kind of hard to just be a regular city council member, and you've been running the chair of finance for, decades.
312-738-1060.
So he's in a bad shape.
What about some of these aldermen are facing an uphill battle because of them signing off on the hush money for the Laquan McDonald murder?
Yeah.
What do you think? Will Michelle Harris, will she survive? Will Alderman Mitch, our friend in the 37th Ward, will she survive?
I think that it's going to be interesting to see. I don't know about that, but I think it's going to be interesting to see the activists who are running this time, like
Yeah.
William Calloway,
Okay.
and see how well they do. Politics is a totally different game
Sure.
from activism.
It really is.
But I think I've been impressed with some of them, how quickly I think they at least begin to learn some of the science. You know,
Absolutely.
there's a science to politics. I mean, nobody who's got a lot of money out there is just waiting to see what happens. They got some idea where their votes are, and they're trying to get them out there, out to the polls.
Absolutely. Let me ask you about this mayoral race. Who should Chicago watch out for?
You mean tonight?
Yeah. Who should we look out for?
Who could be surprising?
Who could be the who
I
could be
think-
the
I
dark
think-
horse or the X factor? Give me 2 or 3 names.
I think Lori Lightfoot could be surprising.
Okay.
I think Willie Wilson could be surprising.
Okay.
I would like to say Amara could be surprising.
Okay.
Because there is a young vote out there. There's a millennial vote.
So you heard it here first
yeah.
tonight. Watch out for Lori Lightfoot, Willie Wilson, and Amara. Watch out for them. This is going to be very interesting. Does any candidate hurt themselves running?
No, only probably the riskiest candidate out there who could be diminished
Okay.
would be Preckwinkle, Daley, Mendoza if she
Yeah.
doesn't do well.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a little
they would be
damage
diminished.
moving
And it's a
forward.
4th guy who I think career would be completely over. Chico.
Chico.
Because he doesn't have much already. But
Yeah.
he made a showing last time.
Yeah.
He'd be finished. He'd never run
I just
again.
don't think that I don't think there's much to him now, basically. So I don't see him. Yeah, I think he's probably pretty much finished. But I think, if it's like Daley,
In the black community, Lori Lightfoot, Willie Wilson, and Myra. I would say in Hispanic community, watch out for Chico. Because Mendoza.
watch out.
Watch out for Chico. Because
you think he could
Mendoza.
emerge?
It's so close. And Mendoza is really, man, she's imploded.
She's been wounded.
Yeah.
I don't know, because I've never I haven't seen campaign events outside of the black community, so I don't know what kind of energy.
Sure.
I know Mendoza's got a lot of it,
Yes, she does.
and I just don't know, how well she resonated, and I don't know how active that community is in voting. Are they active?
I don't know.
Because you have.
But I was just
people
really
that can't
basically
vote.
looking at the polling numbers. Her numbers
She's
have
bunched in
gone
there.
down,
She's gone
and
down.
his has risen.
Oh, really? Yeah.
And
So
I
there-
think
yeah.
I think Mendoza and Chico are competing for the same base. And then also I think when you saw Tony's numbers go down and Lori's go up, I think the people and Lori in Tony's camp were looking for somewhere to go, and I think they ended up over there with Lori, I believe, because Lori was like nowhere for a while, like 4% or something.
And then she's got another, she's got like the progressive
Yeah.
constituencies, North Side, and so some of her vote wouldn't have been Preckwinkle's vote.
Sure.
I think Preckwinkle is the Union candidate, and so
Now,
I don't know if
that's really who she
I
is.
don't know if that's Lori's base or not. Yeah,
Well, she is. Preckwinkle has a lot of progressives up there too, as well. Though.
does she?
Yeah. That's what I'm hearing.
Well, I mean, that could be some strength because she's gonna get some out of the black community. She's gonna get the unions, and if she gets a little bit, And you remember, 20%, and you at the top of the deck of cards,
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
she could basically win tonight a runoff spot, with the low 20.
You got that right. What will it take to win a runoff spot tonight? You're saying 20% or 18%?
I would say 20.
You got to take 20 because when they had those 14% and 13%,
But you had a
there's lot
quarter that let you undecided with those
yeah.
numbers, yeah.
Okay.
And they're breaking some way, but some of them are breaking no way. Because I don't know that there's a lot of energy out there to vote today. You got to remember, and it's February, that's all by design
Sure.
as well.
You have the incumbent, but there is no incumbent. So who benefits from a similar incumbency status would be a Daley or Preckman?
People that have a controlled vote. You know, that has a vote. I don't know what Daley's vote is though.
Yeah.
Where's it at? Where's it come from?
His family.
I mean,
people see that name and they get excited. Just like, you know, it didn't work for Jeb Bush though.
Yeah,
it didn't work.
Well, I'm just saying, you know, it's a big risk for him because if a Daley can't get elected in Chicago, that's news.
Yeah,
I remember somebody telling me, you know, about poor Martin Luther King III.
Yeah,
ran for a county seat down in Fulton County years ago. And it's like, you know, if you can't win in Fulton County and your name is Martin Luther King III, that's probably not your line of work.
You got that right.
Yeah.
Listen, Dr. Hatch, it's been really great. I want to express my gratitude for work you're doing in West Garfield. It's amazing. We got to wrap up. I'll let you have a final word, but it always amazes me. I'm in Austin, and I have my complaints about Austin, but I look over there at you, and you're in West Garfield,
it's where low end over there.
And the life expectancy is 69.
16
it's 16.
Less.
Yeah. 6 miles east of you, 85.
Yeah, right.
You know.
Right.
How do you inspire hope over there?
Well, you know, I know that I've been called to that community, and it's worked out the way that, you know, the Lord would have it, because
and you got 30 seconds.
That community is less isolated because we're there, and that's a big part of our ministry is, you know, bringing resources.
Keep up the good work and keep on fighting. And
it's been a joy. And Reverend Ackrey, again, I mean, he's got to start that PR firm. Nobody better in the business.
God has given me a gift for that, but I'm weak in so many other areas. So if anybody's good with that pitch I put out there earlier,
it's time for Ackrey Strategies to be birthed in 2019.
Thank you so much. All hands on deck.
He may let me go into business with him.
Well, I could use your consultation anyway.
A&H?
Junior partner. See you next week.